My name is V. Ragasuda and I am working as a science teacher in Narayana YT Tutor branch. Now I am going to discuss about the topic light for 5th class students. Introduction. In our surroundings, you are able to see the number of things. And when you close your eyes, what you are observing, we get only the black color, and we are not able to see the things which surround us. And when we open your eyes, you are able to see the things. Why we are able to see the things when we open our eyes? Because of light. So the topic you are going to discuss about that is light. So in our surroundings there are a number of objects are present. How we are able to see that objects means because of the presence of light. So what is a light? Light is a form of energy which is used to see the things around us. What is a light? Light is a form of energy which is used to see the things present around us. Next, how we are able to see the objects? We are saying that light is used to see the objects present around us. But how we are able to see the objects through light? How means, for example, we take a duster. How we are able to see the duster which is present in front of you? See, we are getting light in our surroundings. That means when the light from our surroundings is falling on this object and this light reflects back to our surroundings and that reflected light is reaching our eyes. When the reflected light reaches our eyes, we are able to see this object. Okay? So, when, for example, we are getting a light from a torch light. So, this is the light. And if the object is placed in front of this light, what happens? The light which is coming from the torch is falling on this object and this light gets reflected back to the surroundings. This is reflection and this reflected light reaches to our human eye. So when the reflected light reaches our human eyes, we are able to see the objects. Okay, so this is the way how we are able to see the objects because of the light. Okay, next one. Next we are going to discuss what are the sources of light. What are the sources of light? What is meant by a source? Here we are talking about the light. So what is meant by a source means the light where we are getting from is called as the source. The light where we are getting from is called as the source. Okay. Next, among the sources of light there are two types. First one is the luminous objects and second one is the non-luminous objects. First one is the luminous objects and second one is the non-luminous objects. First one is the luminous objects and second one is the non-luminous objects. So first we see what are luminous objects. Luminous objects. The objects, luminous objects. So the objects which are capable of giving out light by themselves are called as the luminous objects. The objects which are capable of giving out light by themselves are called as the luminous objects. For example, take one candle. Examples we are taking as the candle. Candle is called as the luminous object because the candle gives some light. This is the candle. Next, torchlight. Torchlight is also called as the luminous object because the torchlight also gives the light. So, these are the objects which are capable of giving out light by themselves or called as the luminous objects. Another example for luminous object is the sun. Another example is the sun. The sun. The sun is also called as the example of luminous body. So, what are the examples of luminous objects? The candle, torch and the sun. Among these, some of them are artificial and some of them are natural. How can we say natural and how can we say some are artificial? First, what is meant by natural? Natural means it occurs by themselves. What is artificial? Artificial is nothing but the man-made. So, here the sun is called as the natural. Here the sun is called as the natural. Why the sun is called as the natural? Because the sun gives the light by itself only. We are not lightening that sun and we are not giving any light to the sun. Sun is giving light by itself only. So the sun is called as the natural one. And next, coming to the candle and torchlight, these are the luminous objects, but these we can call as the artificial. What we can call as the artificial. Why we are calling candle and torch are called as the artificial means the candle will give light when we lit the candle only. And when the torchlight gives light means when the torchlight is on only. That means here the light emits by the candle and torchlight are controlling by the man. That means when we want to lit the candle, you are lightening the candle. Otherwise, it need not gives the light. When the torch is on, that time only it gives light. But it does not gives light when the torch is off. So, the candle and torchlight are called as the artificial. Okay? Next topic, non-luminous object. What we said about luminous objects, the objects which are capable of giving out light are called as non-luminous objects. What is non-luminous objects? The objects which are not capable of giving out light are called as non-luminous objects. The objects which are not capable of giving out light are called as non-luminous objects. For example, take one book. Take one book. The book does not emit light. So it is called as the non-luminous object. Take one wood. So the wood does not give light. So these objects does not giving light. So these are called as the non-luminous objects. Another example for non-luminous objects is the moon. The moon is also called as the non-luminous object. Why the moon is called as the non-luminous object? You can ask that, madam, in the night times you are getting light because of the moon. But how you are getting the light from the moon means the moon does not itself give the light. It is the reflection of the sunlight only. So when the sunlight falls on the moon gets absorbs that light and that light reflected by the moon and you are getting the light from the moon during the night time. So the moon is also called as the non-luminous objects. Okay. So the objects which are not capable of giving out light are called as the non-luminous object. Example, book, wood, the moon and the number of things we can say as the examples of non-luminous objects.